Welcome back to Here's the Stitch. I want to thank all of our viewers for watching our first episode. In my opinion, it was the worst first episode ever created. So I appreciate those of you who watched and commented and sent your sweet messages. It was really, really great to hear from you. After that first episode, I've obviously learned a lot of things about how to make a video podcast a reality. For those of you who may know, I did an audio podcast called The Carolina Fiber Girls with my friend Ann many years ago, and I had the audio down, but video is definitely a whole new animal. So thank you for bearing with us with the first episode. We did also rename the podcast. When Kristen was running the podcast, she called it the Dying to Knit podcast, which we wanted to just kind of let that be its own thing. And then with this newer version, we are going to call it Here's the Stitch. We have a monthly online knit night, maker night, that we do on the first Tuesday of every month. And we have called that Here's the Stitch. So we figured the podcast was just an extension of that. So works out that I actually record this just before doing that online stitch night. So I will be wrapping up here and then hopping on with our friends on Google Meet for the February get together. So we've got the plan is to do 3 segments. The first segment will generally be an interview or some kind of community-related conversation. This month's interview is with Carol. Carol's last name is escaping me, but her and her partner are the owners of Spun in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So I sat down and had a quick conversation with Carol about their fundraiser for the Ruth Ellis Center. It is a center in Detroit that helps support LGBTQ plus youth. And Dax ran with their first collaboration on their own and created a beautiful colorway called Work in Progress for Carol. So that's the first segment. Second segment is here with me to chat about what I am knitting and working on. I did also do a couple of yarn purchases in the last month, which is very rare for me. So we'll share that. And then at the very end, let me scroll down and see what we're doing for the third thing this month. The third thing this month is we're going to do a little teaser about our March product launch. So she is a little teaser back there. So we have some fun new colors coming in Coleman, but we'll talk more about that in the third segment. So again, I just want to thank you guys for joining me and coming back and being part of Here's the Stitch. We're going to start off the podcast this month with an interview with Carol from Spun in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I discovered your store from a friend who was in the area a couple summers ago, and I just happened to be passing through not too long after that, and I stopped in, and I completely missed you that day.
Yep.
But I left you a skein of yarn, and fast forward a couple of years, and we've been able to get together on a couple of projects. So, Carol, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Carol Sickman-Garner, and my partner Pete and I own Spun in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we have been open a little over 10 years now.
You have a beautiful store. I had heard lots of great things about it from some friends, and when I walked in, I was like, wow, where am I? It's an enormous space.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We have great landlords who have it's a family, and they're very interested in making sure that the building that we're in is a place where normal people can have businesses. They keep their rents at a reasonable point and they work with everybody. And so we've been fortunate. They helped us move into that space in 2021, I think. We were upstairs before that, so we're lucky.
Nice. And there's a great little Jewish jelly around the corner.
There is.
That we may have found.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Charlotte, we don't have any, not even a bad one. We don't have any Jewish delis. So anytime we find one somewhere, we're like
excited.
Watch.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so we made you a special colorway.
You did.
We named it Work in Progress.
Beautiful. Let's see.
It is so pretty.
Beautiful. Yes. Thank you.
So tell us about this project. Tell us about this fundraiser. How long have you guys been doing this?
We have been trying I don't exactly remember when we started doing this, but for a long time we've wanted to make February not into Valentine's Day, right? And not celebrate Valentine's Day, but just celebrate love and celebrate like people loving each other and taking care of each other and creating a space for the community and acceptance. So I really like I don't remember when we decided to start making February like a fundraising month for like specifically for an LGBTQ organization. It's been several years now. And I don't, we now are working like we support a group, an organization in Detroit called the Ruth Ellis Center that is focused on helping LGBTQ young people. And it's named after a woman who was born in 1899. She lived until she was 101. Um, and she was out and active and supporting her community in the mid 20th century. She was a pioneer.
Yeah.
Uh, so the Ruth Ellis Center, like they help young folks with like healthcare and housing and mental health stuff and like education. It's just like, and of course, right now they're really, everybody's feeling pretty worried, but I got an email from them today that they're grateful for the support they're receiving and they're doing what we all are grateful to them for doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. So how does this work? We made you yarn
Yes, you did.
and or I don't know how the name came about, but it is called Work in Progress, which
Yes.
I just think is a great name. So tell us about how you and Dax kind of coordinated coming up with this color.
Well, we thought of working with you all because it was clear to us that you shared our interest in our community's well-being, right?
Hmm.
And so we approached you to see if you'd be interested in working with us, and we wanted something that would reflect the colors in the inclusive flag, the latest, from what I understand, the latest iteration of like a pride flag. And
Hmm.
you all were super excited to work with us and immediately receptive, and you waived your fee. Like I think you
Hmm.
have when you do an exclusive colorway, you usually have like a, I don't remember what you call it, like a setup fee or like a,
Yep.
right, I don't know. And so you all did not charge us for that. So
Hmm.
we bought, I think, 60 skeins of yarn. I believe 60. It's all.
I think it's somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly
We have
either.
three left. And I don't have the yarn, like a skein of the yarn, but this is the sock. It's so, so pretty. And we only have three skeins left. So we donate 10% of the proceeds from yarn sales to Ruth Ellis for the whole month. And we also have another kit that one of our staff members made up that's like a rainbow scarf, and we're donating 10% of the proceeds from that scarf to the Ruth Ellis Center as well. And also just trying to draw people's attention to the Ruth Ellis Center and the work they're doing, and hopefully encourage them to donate and volunteer directly as well. So,
Yeah, I mean, the Ruth Ellis Center is an amazing organization, but for people who want to get involved, like you probably have a similar organization in your community
yes.
that people can volunteer their time with or do anything to help these organizations because it really is so important
Mhm.
for the youth who are struggling with who they are and trying to be comfortable in their own skin
Mhm.
and a lot of them face homelessness, and so there's a whole slew of kind of social issues that a lot of younger people experience when they do come out, and families sometimes aren't as supportive as they would like them to be, and these organizations like the Ruth Ellis Center really do step in and kind of help provide those wraparound services. So yeah, I think it's fantastic that you guys are supporting a local organization doing that.
I know another group we work with is Knit the Rainbow, which you've
Mhm.
probably heard of. And LGBTQ plus kids make up a very disproportionately large percentage of of the unhoused population in the United States. And they're everywhere, right?
Mhm.
It's when we opened, our intention was to make a space where everybody would feel welcome, especially maybe folks who maybe don't feel welcome going into a different shop. Most of the people on our staff are affected by this issue. Personally, have people in their life that they love or are themselves identify as LGBTQ. So it's something Pete and I think of the store as a community that a lot of us are making together. Like it's
Mhm.
us and it's the staff, and it's also our people who come in and spend time at the store and are comfortable there. I guess we just want to try to help continue to make folks visible and make them feel seen and make them feel supported, and especially now. So,
Yeah, they are very much disproportionately targeted for their lifestyle for, in my opinion, for no reason. Now, if you're in a happy, safe relationship, then for me, that's all that really matters. Yeah. So you're down to four skeins, something like that.
we have three left. We have
Three
three.
left.
Yeah, yes.
So what we are going to do is because we do want to keep you in yarn, you are going to continue to sell the skeins.
We
So
are.
folks can order them as a pre-order from you, and then we will get them out to you. It'll take us probably 3 weeks before, so kind of mid-March before those are to you that you can distribute and ship out. But you are not going to run out. So
Thank you.
we will keep you stocked up. I know Dax was excited when I told them that there would be more work in progress that needed to be tied up. So
Well, and I've thanked Dax on email, but thank Dax for me personally too, because they really did just I'm sorry, but knock our socks off. I didn't mean to say that, but it is so beautiful. And anyway, the way it knits up is just gorgeous. So we were so excited to see it. And then we were so excited to see what it looked like when we worked with it. Also make a great hat. So,
yeah, oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Well, so something you may not know is this is the first project like this that I have completely handed over to Dax, and
Oh, that's cool.
this was Dax's project from the beginning. I was like, here you go, run with it, and I know they really enjoyed that process with you. I think it was a couple of different tweaks that needed to be made after the first round, after you saw that, and then
And they're it's so beautifully dyed, right? The colors are so distinct from each other. There's not like a lot of bleed from one, right? They're beautiful skeins. So thank you so much.
yeah, awesome. Who's this friend?
This is Blue.
Oh,
So yeah.
awesome, Carol. Well, thank you so much for reaching out to us for this project. It's something that's really important to our company and our community, much like yours, and we're happy to be part of it with you.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's been a really easy and pleasant and encouraging collaboration. We all need to help each other out right now, right? And show support. So I am so pleased and grateful. So thank you, Janice.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to do it.
All right.
All right. All right, guys. So we've got two more segments after this, so we'll be right back. All right. I really enjoyed getting to chat with Carol. Like I said in the interview, was able to visit her store a couple of summers ago, and it is a phenomenal store. If you are in the Detroit area, sorry, in the Ann Arbor, Michigan area, be sure to stop in and don't miss out on the amazing Jewish deli around the corner, which is also fun. What do we have today for works in progress, finished objects, and I did do some shopping. So first up is my 1FO. I was working on this last month. This is the DRK Everyday Sweater, and I knit it in one of our January neon colors. This is the Fierce colorway on Lada. I love this sweater. I am so glad I made a version of this. I mentioned in the last episode, I have a version of this sweater in purple that was actually gifted to me by a friend who had made it for herself and didn't love it the way she wanted to. So it's mine. But now I have a pink version of as well. I love, 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 love this sweater. Lada just makes phenomenal sweaters. It is my go-to sweater yarn and would probably be my go-to sweater yarn even if I didn't produce this yarn. It is so round and your stitch definition is just so beautiful. I love the way the yarn takes the dye as well. You get really subtle movement across the skein. Yeah, really, really happy with this sweater. So again, this is the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I did it in Queen City Yarn Lada in the colorway Fierce. I knit somewhere in the neighborhood of the 40-inch bust. That is my go-to sizing, and it was just under 4 skeins of yarn to make this sweater. And we do have some photography. We actually had a professional photo shoot done with our friend Julia last week. So hopefully I will have a little snippet of the photo from Julia that we can pop in here so you can see a full photo of it. So that's my only FO of the month, which I honestly haven't knit a sweater in a month in a really, really long time. This was one of the fastest FOs I've had in an incredibly long time. So super excited about that. After finishing this up, I actually finished this up just a few days before I left for the Knit Up North retreat, which is put on by our friends at Cream City Yarn in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I was gonna have some airplane knitting as well as some retreat knitting, and then yeah. So I picked up an old whip. Something I did back in October was I went through all of my whips and I frogged a lot of them and reclaimed some needles. And then I made a list of the ones I wanted to finish. And one of the ones on my list to finish is the Peach Fuzz sweater. It's a Melanie Berg pattern. And I bought yarn for this at Maryland Sheep and Wool, I think last year. And Loop Yarn has these little cards that I think are a great thing in the booth. It's an idea I've contemplated stealing several times. But on the back, it gives you your yardage requirements, tells you what to buy. And so I grabbed this. If you and I are just meeting, orange is my favorite color. I love orange. So one of the colors is Song. And I can tell you that this is the color Song. And then, because I have 2 of those, and then one of the colors is C, which I'm going to assume is the blue one here. And then I don't know what the dark orange color is. But the yarn is from Loop Fiber Studio. And again, I bought this at Maryland last year. I think this was my only Maryland yarn purchase last year. So when I picked this back up was just past, or I hadn't added the orange color. So I was at the end of the sleeve, the armhole there, and then needed to pick up and knit the body. So that is what I did. I knit a good bit of the body at the Knit Up North retreat and then finished the ribbing when I got home and then picked up the sleeve in the 3rd color. And I do have to put my glasses on. I hate the reflection and the glare in my glasses, but I need to be able to read. So I bought 4 skeins of this. I am knitting the 2nd size, which is a 44-inch bust. So it'll be slightly oversized. And then, yeah. So here's my progress on it. It is fun to be knitting with somebody else's yarn. That is something I have struggled with a lot since starting Queen City Yarn, is allowing myself to knit with something other than my own yarn. And we have a phenomenal army of sample makers now, so I no longer feel the need to always be working on a Queen City Yarn sample. Also, if you've ever been into our booth, you know we are not lacking for samples. So having some non-Queen City yarn projects on the needles is something that's important to me. So this is the Peach Fuzz by Melanie Berg in the with yarn from Loop. So hoping to finish this up before the Virginia Beach yarn getaway that I leave for next Wednesday. Likely not going to be finished, but we'll also make more good retreat knitting on the sleeves. That is what I'm working on. And I am knitting that on size 6 needles. I am a extremely tight knitter. That has been or was my focus until last Thursday. And then we'll get to that. The other thing I brought to Knit Up North was sock yarn. I have no idea who the dyer is because I no longer have a tag for this yarn. It is Panthers, Carolina Panthers colorways color. It's a variegated yarn, so you're getting some pooling. So yeah, it is not a self-striping yarn. It is a variegated. Look at that. Look how well the new camera works. So at the Knit Up North retreat, I knew I was going to need some more social knitting. We tend to hit a brewery and while we're up there and just needed something simple I could throw in my purse while we were on the go. Ended up working out really well because I did not have the blue yarn for the ribbing at the bottom of my sweater, and I had finished the body. So my sweater didn't even go in the carry-on on the airplane home. All I brought back on the airplane was this sock. My brother-in-law, Brian's youngest brother, has become a lover of hand knit socks. So I try and do a pair of socks for Mark every year for Christmas. And if I'm really on top of the ball, he also gets a pair for his birthday. And yeah, there's a chance he may get mid-year socks this year. So I am already through the heel and have started working on the gusset. I do a basic vanilla sock with the double gusset heel by Christy Payne. It is my go-to sock pattern. I am not a fan of patterned socks. I knit socks because I need something completely mindless to work on. So yeah, this is the first sock for Mark for this year. We'll see if he gets 2 pairs of socks or just 1. I started his Christmas socks last year, the day after Christmas, and finished that pair of socks just before Christmas this year. So the fact that I'm already on the gusset decreases for the first sock in February is an improvement. All right. The other thing I'm working on, I started last Thursday. I needed some Queen City yarn on the needles for our big photo shoot that we did last Friday. And we got in a new shipment of Lottie. And it's gorgeous. This batch of Lottie is much lighter and brighter. So this is actually the first time I'm working with Lottie. I have never knit with it. Our friends at Feederbrook Farm make this for us, and they designed the colorway. It is our exclusive colorway. It is their Entropy DK base. It's a BFL base. It is no different than what they sell. The colorway is what is exclusive to us, and we have named it Lottie. So I cast that on with some of the Latta New River, and I started the Samantha Guerin Grid Gambit, and I am just rocking through this. I am generally not a shawl knitter. I like shawls when they're like this big, and then when you get to like 300 stitches, I just want to cry each row. But this one doesn't get very big. It's more of it's a bandana cowl, so you then end up seaming it up. I think this edge gets seamed to the bind off. But yeah, I'm only at like just over 100 stitches, like 105, 107, something like that. So the rows still go really quickly. I'm loving the way the Lottie is changing. I did end up doing a little bit of color management here in the Greenland, just so we'd still have plenty of contrast. But I am loving the way it works up. That orange is absolutely stunning. And yeah, I am rocking this. More than likely, this will be done in time for Virginia Beach. We are having a photography class on Friday at Virginia Beach. And I would like to use this for my photography sample. So those are the three projects I'm working on. That's it for working on stuff. I did do some shopping while in Milwaukee for the Knit Up North retreat. So I had actually never been to Cream City Yarn, to the physical store. So I was able to do that this year. And Nicole had a pretty killer deal on some La Bien-Aimée. I have never knit with Amy's yarn. I've also never purchased any of Amy's yarn. There we go. Now it looks like it's focusing. So this is her Felix base. It is a lace weight Falkland Merino and Corriedale blend. And I bought in the colorway Winterfell. It's kind of a bluey, greeny black. It's reading brighter on screen than it actually is in person. That's more color true there. It's a lot darker. So I bought 3 skeins of this, and I am going to make the faux pas pullover. So the faux pas is a lace weight pullover where you hold the lace weight double. So I got 3 skeins, 7, 14, just over 2,100 yards. So this will be plenty for a pullover. So that was my purchase at Cream City Yarn. And then Cream City Yarn also has an exclusive spin cycle colorway called Cream on Top that I did also pick up that will very likely be my next whip. That did not fly home with me. There was not enough room in the suitcase for anything else. I don't think I could have gotten another toothbrush in my suitcase. My suitcase was busting at the seams. So I will be getting the Cream City Yarn Cream on Top spin cycle skeins that I bought at Virginia Beach. I will be picking them up then. So, and that will likely be my next cast on. So that is all I've got for works in progress. So yeah, I am going to run, and I will catch you guys in the third segment. All right, segment 3, some behind the scenes at Queen City Yarn. This is something we get asked about a ton, so I hope this becomes a popular part of the episode that people really look forward to. I think I'm going to be joined by kittens. They're like at that time of day where they're like, "Mommy, it's time to be done working," and they come trotting down these little stairs and meow at me, even though they're not supposed to be down here. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really popular segment to share a little bit behind the scenes. What's going on? What are we working on? Give some sneak peeks at some things. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. This actually started last spring, actually. A piece of feedback we have gotten about our Coleman yarn that is, people love the yarn. It is a silk linen blend. It's a DK weight silk linen. It's a 65% silk, 35% linen. We launched Coleman as a way to do a southern garment yarn, something that you could work with in the summertime, wear in warmer, humid climates, and it eventually became something that, we added to the color palette. We added some fall colors to it. We added some more holiday colors to it to get some richer winter tones. And one of the things that was missing was just a package of bright colors. The whole palette was just really muted and pastel, and then the rich jewel tones. So yeah, this was something I decided to do last late last spring was we were going to do some fresh new colors for Coleman this year. So we've got a couple coming throughout the year, but the first are going to be 5 new colors. So we are going to be launching a spring palette. And all of this was photographed last Friday at our big photo shoot with Julia. Can't wait to share those photos with you guys. And these new colors will be launching March 4th. Telly Bean Knits, Stephanie is also working on a design with one of them. I'm not going to tell you which one or what it is, that will launch simultaneously with the new colors. And yeah, super excited about it. We've got samples in most of the colors. And then, yeah, so this is the spring palette. So first up, you can see it on me back here. That is Limonada. It is a pattern. I don't remember her name. I think it's Anna D, actually. And it is a crochet pattern. It was on the cover of Pom Pom magazine a couple of years ago in this bright, beautiful yellow colorway. That is our crochet sample, and it is in the colorway Orange Crush. Super excited about this one. And then we also have brought out a purse. It's called Vice. And then similar to what I have on, we have a pink. This one's slightly more purple. This one we named Dazzler. And you can see in the skeins here that the linen takes the dye very, very lightly. So you get kind of these lighter slugs in there. There you go. So that's Dazzler. We do have a sample out of this. And then Key Lime. This is a combination of our Women at Work that we had in the neons in January for Lada, and then our Sundrop colorway, which is also a Lada, which is more of a green. So this is kind of a yellowy green color, and we have called this Key Lime. And then Slushy. And again, this beautiful blue. You can see the texture in the way the dye takes the silk versus the linen. So that's your quick preview of what we have coming next month. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this episode of the podcast. It is good to have episode number 2 under my belt. Hopefully when we watch this back, it feels a whole lot more polished and put together than the first episode did. I'm going to stop complaining about how bad the first episode is after tonight. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode. Before I run, we have 5 shows in the next 7 weeks. So January, let me see if I can rattle this off the top of my head. Actually, it's all on a big calendar on the wall next to me. All right. February 22nd, we will it's Friday the 1st. We will be at Virginia Beach. There is a Virginia Beach yarn getaway there. We have a market Friday from 3 to 5 that is open to the public. If you go to our website, all of our details are there. Then the next one will be Saturday, March 8th. That is here in the Charlotte area. There is a bookstore in Kannapolis called Editions, and our lovely friend Tanis Gray will be here. Tanis will be doing a book signing and then a class at Editions on Saturday, March 8th. Book signings at 1, class starts at 2, and I'll also be doing a pop-up there with Tanis. So excited to be hosting Tanis locally. Grab your tickets for that. I know there's still room in the class with Tanis for that. The following weekend, the following weekend I'm home. March 21st through 3rd, we were at the Tidewater Knitting Retreat in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. I believe the market is also open to the public on Saturday. Again, all of the details about these things are on the Queen City Yarn website at the very footer. There's links to everything. And then the following weekend, March 29th and 30th, again, back here at home is Craft Fest. This is a local craft fest put on by a local guild called Craft CLT. Brenna from our last episode is the president of the guild, and yeah, I'm helping organize Craft Fest this year, and it'll be a really fun day. So Brian and Dax and Tesh will be running the booth while I am helping the other organizers actually run the festival. So I will not be in the booth that day, but I will be there. So if you're a local and on stopping in to see us, there's lots of fun things. There's going to be a little tattoo station for flash tattoos. There's make and takes, there's classes. Heather Sorda is teaching classes. There's demos, there's fairy hair, there's face painting, there's popsicles, there's food trucks, there's yarn, fiber, tons of fun. There's an art show. It's a really great weekend. So that is it. Oh no, I forgot the biggest one. I'm not home the 14th. Sorry. March 14th and 15th is the Carolina Fiber Fest in Raleigh. That has become like our second biggest show of the year. We'll have a double booth there. We will be there. We will have lots of yarn. It'll be Dax and I. We will have the new colors. We'll have Lada, we'll have Bernice, we will have the last of the Coleman Light that we still have will be there and be on sale. It is still currently available on the website on sale. We'll have the last of the Lada Bulky with us, and yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for joining me for episode 2. We'll see you next month.